walked into my old street like a stranger in disguise. Same houses, same windows, but they look different through my eyes. There's a picture in my mother's room from years before I changed. I'm standing there beside people who don't know my current name. We used to talk until the sunrise, now the conversations fade. They ask me what I've been doing, I don't know what I should say. How do you explain the distance when nobody did you wrong? How do you tell somebody I still love you, I just moved on? I remember sitting at that table laughing way too loud, trying to be whoever made the room a little proud. I swallowed every opinion that I wanted to defend, cause being understood felt more important than being real back then. Now they tell me that I'm different, like it's something I should hide, like becoming who I needed. Man, I left somebody behind. Maybe I did change, maybe that's the point. Maybe coming up means finally hearing your own voice. And I don't want to erase everything we used to be, but I can't keep living in a version that was never really me. What happens when you outgrow everyone who knew you? When the people who remember you can't recognize the new you? When they keep calling your name like you're still standing where you stood, but you walked too far to turn around just because you could? What happens when familiar faces start feeling like photographs? You still remember every moment, but you can't go living back. Maybe growing isn't leaving, maybe it's finally seeing through. What happens when you outgrow everyone who knew you? There's an old jacket in my closet that I haven't worn in years. Still smells like that apartment where I learned to hide my fears. There's a number in my phone that I refuse to delete, not because I want them back, I just can't call history obsolete. I saw them last November at a restaurant downtown. They were telling old stories, everybody gathered around. They laughed about the person I was when I was 17, and for a second I was sitting there pretending I was still that me. Then somebody said, "You don't talk much anymore." I smiled and said, "I've just been busy like I've done it before." But the truth was sitting underneath every word I chose. I stopped explaining myself to people who only knew my old clothes. They knew the kid who needed everybody's approval, the one who'd apologize before he even knew what he did wrong. They didn't see the nights I spent rebuilding my direction, or the morning I decided I was done asking for permission. And maybe that's the part that hurts the most, not losing them but realizing they only knew the person I was trying desperately to outgrow. So if distance is the language that my growing had to speak, I hope they don't mistake my silence for forgetting what they meant to me. What happens when you outgrow everyone who knew you? When the people who remember you can't recognize the new you? When they keep calling your name like you're still standing where you stood, but you walked too far to turn around just because you could? What happens when familiar faces start feeling like photographs? You don't hate the memories, you just can't keep living back. Maybe growing isn't leaving, maybe it's finally seeing through. What happens when you outgrow everyone who knew you? Maybe someday I'll sit across from them and finally explain I didn't wake up wanting distance. I didn't plan to change, I just got tired of performing a version of myself that made everybody comfortable while making me disappear. And if you love me then, I hope you can love me now, not because I'm who you remember, but because I'm finally who I am. What happens when you outgrow everyone who knew you? You learn that love can stay real even when the people can't stay with you. You stop measuring your progress by who still calls your phone, and realize becoming yourself sometimes means walking home alone. And those familiar faces, I don't need to turn them into enemies. They're pieces of the road that helped create the person I became. I can miss who we were without becoming who I was again. So if they ask me why I changed, maybe this time I'll tell the truth. I didn't outgrow them because I thought I was better. I outgrew them because I finally became someone I could live with. The hardest goodbye isn't leaving someone behind. It's realizing you can't go back without leaving yourself behind too.